Did was whittle a rubber away from the one here, and it was a negative, and so I squished it around and I made it a positive, and trying it here on the bulkhead connector. I was able to get it in. It's going to go in there all right. Make connection. So now I need to match this good harness to whatever colors I got there for that harness. So basically it's just going to be a matter of cutting some of these wires. It's probably only going to be this yellow and red one, I think, and switching them around to where these wires go where they need to go. Now I've got these two wires coming out of here, which are a brown and a red. I kind of saved those. I'm going to cut that open again so I can make sure what I got. These are the two that'll be here for the red and green, and red and white for the oil sender and the oil sender and the temperature sender. I'll try to sort those out right now. I've got it pretty much hooked up. I cut a couple wires there. I was going to start moving around, but turned out I had to hook them back together. So anyway, the only thing that I don't have working yet is the heater, but I found that this wire here, the red with the green tracer, is my oil pressure sending unit. This one here, the red, now works correctly for the water temperature. I got my two wires on a solenoid here, the red and green, which starts the starter, and I think the other one is a coil bypass. My main red wire there goes into the harness. It looks like it's going to the key. The key's working, the lights are working, horn's working. What I don't have yet is ignition hot. It's wired here into this mess, and a hot wire running into the inside of the car. I don't have my two heater wires hooked up yet, but basically all the rest of the wires are good. The harness looks good, still brand new looking, and I can get rid of that old one there. I didn't want to take anything loose until I find out for sure what's going on. And I know the heater was bypassed this whole thing. It just had two wires running into the inside of the car, so I'll probably have to figure out where those go and hook them up right. But basically this harness plugged right in, once I got the connector right. Pretty much all the wires are right. The only thing that might not be right is that heater, because I'm not getting any power out of either one of these wires with a key on. I don't know if a lot of the places it shows the yellows is hot, always on. That brown one goes to the heater switch. I'm going between these two, the 65 and the 66. Most of the color codes are the same. These are showing me some of my connections for amp meter gauge, and this one's showing me lights. So I'll still have to tweak this a little bit and finish up whichever wiring goes where. And I'm getting some kind of weird reads on the gauges, but I think that's because well, that light bulb is not the same resistance as a oil sending unit. And I actually could put this water sender on there now and see what it's gonna do. I tested it by grounding it, and it pegs the gauge. So let's see what it does there. Of course, I got 12 volts running to the gauges now, so that's not right at all. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I got a light here. Well, it looks like the oil's coming down and the temperature's going up. It pegged the temperature. But starter solenoid, well, isn't working now, but it was working. Some of these wires I just got kind of hanging in there, which is kind of weird. The oil, when I turn the key off, is going over, and when I turn the key on, it's coming down. The fuel gauge is showing like half full and climbing, and when I turn it off, it comes down. So I know the fuel gauge is hooked up right. I don't know what's going on with this oil or the temperature, because these were supposed to be lights, not sending units. Temperature's at the bottom. If I turn the lights on or turn the key on, there it goes. So it's at least the wires and the sending units are right. There's still something wrong in there, but right wires are going to the right places now. So I consider that a success. I don't have any extra wires, and I'm sure that heater stuff is disconnected on the inside. It's not quite right, but I can figure that out and pull these wires out of from the firewall, hook them up to those two big ones up there, and the rest of this harness looks like it's just fine. Why my solenoid quit working? It might not be grounded. It's kind of a messed up deal there. Anyway, it was kind of a messy day, and I wasn't sure what I was doing or even if that harness would work, but it looks like it's going to. I have a few more hours probably trying to figure out what's wrong and fixing it, but looks like I have my instrument harness gauge in and mostly working right. Trying to get the heater working, Basically, in this new harness, I've got a yellow and a brown wire, which are the two outside connectors there. And I kind of went crazy trying to figure out where they were going. And I finally got it traced down to right here. And I found a red, an orange, and a brown. And the red and the orange are the two that I need. And they've just been cut. Typically this brown wire is a hot wire. And you know, whoever was in here before spliced a lot of wires. But I'm pretty sure that this red and orange wire are the two that I need to get the heater working. So, because I traced it up under here into the, I don't know, you can't even see in there, but there's the connector up in there. So at least I got 3 wires here. I don't know what they went to before. I'll look at it and do a little playing around, but I'm pretty sure that at least 2 of these will work from a heater. Did it. The brown wire here is fused heater power. And that run to the orange wire, and the red wire goes to the other side of the heater. This goes over here to this thing. So basically all I got to do is hook it up like that, run another wire here to the heater, all works good, and it works with the key on and off. So that's what they did. They cut that heater out. That's why they ran wires through the firewall. And my 2 connections here, you know, they're obviously pretty bad, but I've got the heater hooked up to the 2 harnesses. The brown wire is the hot, and the other one is the connection to the ground in the switch. So I can make me up a couple little wires that'll plug in here and wire up that inside there on the dash, and that should be it for my heater connections. Wired up in there. Need a nice little harness. Ran across. I patched up my stuff here. Everything all works good. I haven't worked on the outside. I was starting to fool around here with the brake lights, and the wires went through to the outside and had an external hydraulic brake light switch. I ordered an internal one, and I just started playing with all these wires, and at this point I'm up into the dash here, up into that yeah, almost this camera's even, look at it through here. It's right up in there, up in the top. And the way that the brake light was working before, 2 of those wires would have to be connected to power, and a green wire that I decided went to the brake. Well, I've got a connector hanging down here that turned out that I've got a jumper wire hooked to it there. This is my red and green wire. When I put power to that, the brake lights work. And so at this point, looking at the green wire that's supposed to be the brake light wire, and it's going out of the harness out into the front up there, and there's no brake lights up there at this point. Those are my gauges and stuff. So I'm at that point right now trying to make sure that these brake light works. My big green wire there, if I run power to that, my brake lights work, turn signals work, everything's good. But I was trying to use these dash wires because I had no connection for a brake light switch that goes on that the brake arm there. You can see a little white thing up in there. That's what the brake light switch fits on. So I did find one of the brake light wires for the internal brake light switch, and I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with the other one that's going out through the firewall at this point. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the brake lights and everything working right in here before I go out and finish up that heater harness in front. Hard to work on this firewall. I'll pull little wires out since I kind of got the right harness there, and I cleaned this up with soap and water. I got some primer mixed up. I'm gonna spray it in there, and hopefully we'll have some kind of a good result. Well, I primered that. Looks pretty good. Got it good down on the frame. Got a little overspray which makes it not too shiny, but I got a good heavy coat of primer on there. I did the same to this. I cleaned it up and sanded it. That's for the cross brace there. So anyway, this looks pretty good. That top piece is going to be painted red, so I didn't really worry about it too much. I've got some wires coming through a hole there. I need to fix that, patch them. One of those is a oil pressure line that comes out, the plastic one. Well, I threw a little lume in it. That looks a little better. I still, this is not final, but at least I got this corner with the heater fixed up pretty good. And my harness is in right. I still got quite a few wires to cut out of here and get rid of, but my new wiring harness looks good there. It's coming down here to the where it's supposed to go in the oil and everything. And my old one here, I can get rid of that now. So engine compartment's coming along.